Yo, what's going on, Bro Talk Nation, man? It's your boy Eric here. I got my brother Jamarcus on, man. And tonight, man, we are going to end a beautiful series. But man, I need y'all to go back and check out every episode of the series. When I say I loved every moment of it, every word that came through, man, God truly came through and showed out. So, hey man, if y'all out there, man, definitely go and check out the last episode. Subscribe, like, love, share, and just go check out each and every episode, man. So tonight we're gonna dive into the last part of this episode, and it's don't be afraid to trust God. So I'm gonna turn it over to my brother Jamarcus. Bro, what we got for the people, man?
Man, what's going on, Bro Talk Nation, man? Like we do every single time, man. We just got to give God his actual acknowledgement. We want to thank him first and foremost every single time we come on the show, man. We love what he's doing. We love that y'all are out here supporting us. And like he said, man, we're about to end um our series, Don't Be Afraid. And tonight is the final installment. All right, as y'all can see, we got some technical difficulties. E is gonna restart and come back in, but he's gonna restart and come back in, but we keep it going. All right. E will jump in when he get back in. But like E said, man, it's tonight is our final episode, man, of this amazing series called Don't Be Afraid. This series it's been great to me. It's been good to me, man. It's shown me a lot of things that I were afraid of stepping into, things that I needed to work on. So I hope this series has been just as good for you as it was for us. Um, Now the one thing we want to hop on is the actual title of tonight. It's called "Don't Be Afraid to Trust God." So like any other show, man, we ask if you out there, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and praise that bell to get caught up on old and new content. Head over to our Facebook page, like and subscribe, share as much as possible so that we can share this good news. This good news needs to be known by everybody. So please head over there, man. Now, as I wait on my boy E to hop back on, man, we're gonna talk a little bit. And we're gonna talk about tonight on don't be afraid to trust God, right? And the verse that we're coming from, I'm gonna go ahead and read out the verse while we wait on E. Literally is Second Samuel 4, chapter 4, verse 4. And we're also going to dive into chapter 9, 3 through 4, and 9:13. It's a little bit of Bible, but I want to give you like the meat and potatoes of this so that we can really get this thing down about don't be afraid on trusting God, right? So Second Samuel literally the verse starts off, Saul's son Jonathan had a son named Mephibosheth. All right, I'm like 99% sure I got that name right this time. Mephibosheth. All right, that's how I sounded it out. It sounds good to me, so that's what we're gonna roll with. Who was crippled as a child. He was 5 years old when the report came from Jezreel that Saul and Jonathan had been killed in battle. When the child's nurse heard the news, she picked him up and fled. But as she hurried away, she dropped him and he became crippled. We're already there, right? And we're gonna dive into this verse. I'm gonna read out the rest of the actual verses from this book of Samuel to you so that we can get into it. But I just need to know, like, one of the stories that I can remember about my grandmother, right? My grandmother, who is RIP, she's in heaven. Okay, that goes, man.
Swear God come through, man. God doing
You
something.
good. You good, man. The enemy trying, but we ahead of them at all times, man.
Yeah. Let's go.
So, bro, I just read out Second Samuel, telling them that we were coming from Second Samuel, chapter 4, verse 4. And then
Mhm.
we're gonna hop around from Second Samuel 9, 3 through 4. But it's the story about Mephibosheth. All right. And I told him I was 99% sure That is how you pronounce that. I
Yeah.
felt good on that name this time, bro. I mess up a lot of ones, but this one felt good. So if it's not right, I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm reading from a different translation. All right, that's what I'm gonna say.
Let's go.
But bro, like we where we at right now in chapter 4 is that Jonathan and Saul have died, right? And
Mhm.
at this time, Mephibosheth is just a baby. He can't move on his own. And the child nurse got news of this, and she picked him up and she started to flee, but she dropped him, right?
Mhm.
And I was thinking about a time in my life where a story about my grandmother, my momo, right? I love her to death. She's in heaven right now. And we have tons of stories about fishing, baking cakes, cutting the grass, just driving around. But this particular story about her, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I don't like it. I do not like this story about her, this memory I have of her. It
Mhm.
made me not trust her judgment. It made me not trust her decision on butt whooping.
Mm.
I didn't trust her disciplined decision.
Yeah, yeah.
Because my grandmother is one of those people that believe if one did it, then you all getting it.
Everybody did it.
I didn't understand this. I never understood this. Like that was her thing. My uncles have told me numerous stories when we were on our fishing trip about like when one of them mess up, all the brothers is getting it. Like everybody's getting the switch. And
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know until the day I finally saw it happen. It was
Mhm.
a day, bro, where we were out playing at the park. We were out in
Mhm.
the neighborhood, and everybody knows the environmental time clock. It was the street lights. Everybody knows this. You
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
what time you had to be in the house was before the street lights came on.
Yeah.
Till this day, I can still hear the noise of the street lights starting up. And that was my indication to get on a full sprint, bro. Like I can still hear it. I had it timed perfectly, bro. I know I'm not the only one, but
Nah,
everybody
nah,
has to
nah,
know this,
you're not.
bro.
You're not.
But this day, I heard the street lights came on and I beat the street lights. I
Mhm.
made it in the house. I'm huffing and puffing, getting a drink of water. I was
Mhm.
good. But
Yeah.
my cousin was not good. He
Mm.
ended up coming in while the street lights were on. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he about to get it. In my head, I was like, I'm scot-free. I did what I was supposed to do.
Right, right.
I was wrong. I didn't know that something was about to change.
Mm.
I got told to go pick our switch. And I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I did what was right.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
am I getting disciplined right now? It
Mhm.
should only be
Mhm.
him that's getting disciplined.
That's right.
I made it in by your rules, but I'm still the one who is about to get placed in harm, bro.
Mm.
And I didn't understand that. Like, I didn't trust the decision that my
Mhm.
grandmother was making. I didn't
Yeah, yeah.
trust her judgment. I didn't trust her disciplined decision, bro.
Mm.
I have to
That's
ask
good.
now, like, what about in your life? What happens when it ain't us that caused the harm, and now you find yourself not trusting God?
Mm.
And we can reread that Second Samuel, but it wasn't Mephibosheth that
Mhm.
caused himself harm. He
Mhm.
was only a baby.
Mm.
That's what we starting off, bro. That's what we're getting into, bro.
Hey man, I know we didn't have the same grandma and everything, but I think my grandma and your grandma they went to the same school or got raised by the same people, or because yeah, you brought back memories with that, man. But um when she whooped me, man, it didn't make sense. I'm like, if it's been a time where me and my cousins, we all hanging out, and we done got into it, and I'm sitting back chilling. I didn't do anything, and
Yo,
we all got a whipping, and I never understood that. So now that we're talking about it, I think they wanted accountability,
Yeah.
right? Grandma wanted us to be accountable, not only for just ourselves, but like being accountable for ourselves also affects the people around us as well.
Yeah.
And so, and what we're going to dive into tonight, you know, trusting God with certain things is hard. It's very hard.
Oh,
Trusting that your grandma knew what she was doing and she was making the right decision, that was hard. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make sense. And God's decisions don't make sense to us too. And we're going to dive, man, so far into that. But yeah, man, I think our grandmas were in the same whipping sorority, bro. They all pledged together and they crossed at the same time, bro.
hey, and you know what's crazy? I believe all the old grandmothers are literally all the same. They all, like you said, crossed together in that sorority of Alpha Belt Alpha or whatever it may have been, bro. Where where if one did it, they all get it. I mean, I just didn't understand it. But
Hey,
you're 100% correct, bro. Like,
yeah,
a lot of time, God decisions we don't understand them, so it
yeah.
leaves us with trust issues, man. It leaves us
Hmm.
with trust issues, and I want this story, the story that we in right now about Mashiva Chef to like show you what happens when you get trust issues.
Hmm.
Um, bro, one of the first notes that I wrote down, man, from this, and I'm gonna dive into it, but the first note that I wrote down was no one paid attention to the fragile on the box. That was one
Mm,
of the notes.
that's good.
Um,
That's good.
we've all moved before, or you've helped somebody move before. Um, when you start moving boxes, you
Hmm.
just start putting boxes down. Like you throw them around. I remember working for like FedEx and whatnot. We throwing them in a truck. We like,
Man.
putting them down any type of way.
Hmm.
Because when you don't read the word fragile or
Yeah,
handle with care on that box,
yeah,
you
yeah.
make it so in your mind that the box is gonna protect the contents inside.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is our thinking, that the box is gonna protect whatever's inside. So if we
Hmm.
don't read the word fragile on it or handle with care, we
Hmm.
treat that box however we want it to be treated. And
Hmm.
I think right now in the story, Mashiva Self was just a kid in the story, and his life was about to be affected not by something that he did, but he was broken because someone didn't read fragile on his life.
Mm, man,
And
man.
for a lot of us, how many people didn't read fragile on your life? How many
Hmm.
people didn't read handle with care on your life in a
Hmm.
certain situation? I know for
Yeah.
me, we did talked about it, so many times on here, but the trauma that I went through is because someone didn't read fragile on
Hmm.
Jamarcus's box. They handled it like the contents, like the box was gonna protect the contents, right?
Hmm.
So, bro, like
Hmm.
like I don't know anything about this nurse. Like the Bible really doesn't dive into who this nurse was or her
Hmm.
background or anything like that. But
Yeah.
from context reading, you can tell that she was in a state of being afraid. The Bible lets
Hmm.
us know, it says when she found out Saul and Jonathan were dead, right? Though Saul was a
Hmm.
king at that time, Jonathan was his son, and they were dead, she may have thought that, oh my gosh, they're about to come take over the house. They're about to come take over the temple, right?
Hmm.
So she was
Hmm.
afraid. She was terrified. So
Hmm.
she got up because of this. She didn't take the time to see that Mephibosheth was fragile, that she needed to handle him with care. See,
Hmm.
she dropped him. She was afraid and rushed because of this. Mashiva self is now crippled and broken.
Hmm.
Bro, this is so deep right here.
Yes, it is, man.
Like there are
Man.
there are some people who are dealing with trauma right now who are
Hmm.
broken and crippled because
Hmm.
somebody in their life was afraid and was
Hmm.
rushing and didn't
Hmm.
read. the fragile are handled with care on their life.
Man.
Like God has written that on all of our lives so long ago. He knew
Yeah.
so long ago that we all needed to be handled with care, that all of our lives are fragile. Why?
Mhm.
Because of our hearts, because of what we go through, right?
Yeah.
That's why he says, I would never leave the brokenhearted. I'm
Mm.
always there for you. He knew that our hearts will get broken, right?
Yeah.
Because when sin came in, it stirred up something in us.
Mhm.
So, like, bro, like at this point in time, like we're sitting here at this point right now with a nurse who didn't attend on hurting Mashiba's self, but because she was afraid, because she was rushed, she now dropped the child, and now
Mm.
the child is now crippled and broken, bro. Like, I want to
Mm.
stop right there and turn it over to you, bro, because like
Man.
this right here, it got me, bro. Like, it really did get me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's and what she did is what we do
Yeah.
with the gifts that God gives us, with the time that God gives us, with everything that God puts in our life to steward.
Hmm.
We're like the lady. We're, something happens in our life and then we start rushing,
Yeah.
right? And so when you're rushing, you're not able to take care of what you have in your hands with care.
Oh,
You'll
that's
drop
good.
it, you'll fumble it, right? If if you've ever made a sudden move, right? And I've probably done this, and if my wife is watching, I apologize for all the broken glasses. But I've made sudden moves, right? I'll be washing dishes and then I'll make a sudden move. In my mind, I know the distance from the dishwasher to the cabinet. And I've done this many of times, but it's sometimes we get too ahead of ourselves and then I make a mistake. And because I made that sudden movement, overthinking what I thought I knew, I end up breaking the glass because I don't quite make it past to getting it on the shelf,
Mm,
right? And so we do that in our lives. A lot of times we asking God for things in our lives, and we think God doesn't hear us, and it's like he heard you,
yeah.
but he gave you a word, and he keeps giving you the same word, and because we're too quick to move, like, all right, God, I took care of that. Now what's next? You know what I'm saying? We're trying to go to the next thing so fast because life is happening.
Mm,
You end up fumbling the bag,
that's
or
good,
you
bro.
end up or you end up fumbling what he's put in your care. That goes for relationships, that goes for parenting, that goes for your career, your finances, that goes for friendships, that goes for so many things.
Yeah.
And I think because of her immediate reaction, if she would have just took her time, she wouldn't have dropped it. She wouldn't have dropped Mashiba. I can't even say it. I'm gonna be honest with you. But she wouldn't have dropped Mashiba self. I think that's how you say it.
Bro, that sounds good to me.
But she wouldn't have dropped him, right? And so because of our immediate reaction versus being patient and taking our time with what God gives us, now the result is you have a crippled child. Or now you have a crippled relationship between you and your child.
Oh, that's so
Or
good, bro.
or now you have a crippled relationship between you and your wife when y'all were having a breakthrough point in vulnerability.
Mm,
See, it affects so many different dynamics of your life that, like, you don't want to cripple the things in your life that God has for you.
that's
Let's go,
good.
bro.
Hey, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw a curveball in here right now, and I am gonna nickname Mashiba Chef Mefield. I'm just gonna call him Mefield. So from here on out, if I say the word Mefield, we're talking about Mashiba Chef. All right. That word is like making my mouth dry every time I say it, man. So God, you know who I am. So we just gonna call him Mefield. All right, Mefield. All right. But bro, like you brought up something that's
Man.
very important, because a lot of us will play victim and be like, oh, I'm only Mefield.
Mm.
I'm gonna be real with you. I have been Mefield and I have been the nurse.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have been the one that's gotten dropped and broken and
Mm-hmm.
crippled, but I've also been the one who has been afraid and rushed and broke and fumbled things in my life. I have I have made decisions and mistakes that have fumbled my career. We talked about it. I've made decisions that have fumbled my family. I've man, I vulnerable moment. I've made decisions and rushed on things that almost broken up my family. Bro, I'm being completely honest. I am not
Yeah.
about to sit here and play victim like I've only been Mefield. I have been the nurse and I have been
Yeah.
Mefield. But the
Yeah.
thing that I want to go on, because we're going to tie this back into the title of Don't Be Afraid to Trust God, is you got to understand that Mefield at this point, he was
Yeah.
only a child and could not take care of himself. At this time right now in his life, he could only trust her.
Mm.
For him to get out of that place, if it was about to get attacked, he had to put his trust in her. He couldn't do it by himself. But when she dropped him,
So,
when he got broken, the trust was broken. Man, like
so good.
how
That's
many,
good.
either way we want to put it, how many people have you put your trust in and you needed them to take
Yeah.
care of you, to sustain you, and they
Man.
fumbled you, they broke you, and now your trust is broken? How many of you have been the one who knew that somebody put their trust in you to handle them with care,
Man.
to read the word fragile on them, and you
Man.
dropped them and you broke them, and now the trust is broken? Like we're gonna dive into this because I'm telling you, I feel like this situation, this situation right here is something that we don't like to talk about, because some of us don't like to say that I am the nurse too. Some of us
Yep.
don't like to admit that.
Yeah.
And I want to get it out there because this whole thing is about don't be afraid to trust God.
Yeah.
So it's important to me, bro, because at this point in time right now, the trust is broken. Mefield trust is
Yeah.
broken. He is sitting there as a kid thinking, I didn't even do anything to be in this situation right now.
Man.
I
Man.
did nothing to be crippled and broken right now, bro. Like, bro, that is so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, before I go back to you, this is where I want to dive into the other verse of
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
we're going right now, right? And now we're in 2 Samuel 9, 3-5, bro. And this is later on in 2 Samuel. You know, Mefield he's still broken. The nurse is no longer in the picture. David is doing his thing, and he's now the king, and he's asking a question. And it starts off with the king then asks, is anyone still alive from Saul's family? If so, I want to show God's kindness to them. Ziba replied, yes, one of Jonathan's sons is alive. He's talking about Mefield. He is crippled in both feet. David asks, where is he? The king asks, in Lo Debar, Ziba told him, at the home of Mechir, the son of Emil. So David sent him and brought him from Lo Debar, bro. Bro, this is where this gets good. This is where this gets good. This is where don't be afraid to trust God is I'm hoping where it impacts at. We told you Mefield was broken. He was crippled. From that time right now, he's been living in this place called Lo Debar. And I need you to understand Lo Debar name alone meant not having nothing.
Man.
Like this place is terrible. The place of Lodabar, like I did some research behind it, bro, was an
Mhm.
isolated, dry, without order. There was nothing going on. It literally says Lodabar was the crummiest place back in those times. So
Wow.
Mefield went from living in a palace, but oh man, thank you, God, but to grow up with inheritance because he
Mm,
was the son of the son's king. Like
mhm.
he had everything planned out for him. He
Yeah.
got dropped and got broken and crippled and
Mm,
ended up in a place of isolation and a place of nothing.
mm, mm,
This
mm.
is what happened when he got broke. I made a point I made a point off this, bro, and I'm about to turn it back over to you. The point I wrote down was trust
Yeah.
God and it will be your last day in Lodabar. Let's go, bro. Like
Hey.
let me say that again.
Yeah.
Trust
Yeah.
God
Yeah. Yeah.
and it will be your last
Yeah.
day in Lodabar. Bro, let's go.
Man.
Let's turn this up, bro.
Hey. God, man. Thank you, man. Golly. Um, I only have a question. What is your loader bar?
Oh, that's it. Let's go. Come on.
What where is that in your life? Is that
Mm,
uh your dad hasn't been in your life, right? For
yeah.
the last whatever years, is that your loader bar?
Mm,
Has have you been cheated on in your marriage? Have you been cheated on in relationship? Is that your loader bar, right?
yeah.
Um, for me, and I'll just give a personal testimony. My loader bar has been a custody battle, right?
Yeah.
And how God operates, no matter where you are in your life,
Yeah.
you can always, and I mean always, trust Him.
Oh, that's
Now,
so good.
let me give you the real though. I'm pretty sure Mefield didn't really trust God because it didn't look good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was crippled. So not only do I leave the kingdom, like I'm that guy. I'm next up. I'm like the prince coming up. I'm leaving the
Yeah.
wealth, right?
Mm, that's
To
good.
go to a place that is dry, barren, and it's pretty much depressing there.
Mm,
And guess what? For a lot of us, it wasn't even his fault. It wasn't your fault for some of the things that happened to you in your life.
that's good, bro. Let's talk
It
to it.
had it had absolutely nothing to do with you, but you're here. And because that's your loader bar, it's hard to trust God.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that he hasn't forgot you. He hasn't forsaken. It's hard to believe that when somebody comes along with a word and says, "Hey, just trust in God," and you are going through some of the worst times in your life, that is hard to do. But as we see in the story, that no matter what, God's promise is his promise. And he never forgets about you. But you have to trust the process of it. And that part right there alone is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that God put me in this position to be tested. Understand, it's a test. Yes,
Yeah.
it is just a test. But it's hard to believe that God put me here. And
Mm,
to say that God put me in this place, a lot of people, and I know for all the non-believers out there, y'all gonna be like, well, if God said he loved you, why he do that? See, now you're trying to get into the works of understanding God and you can't.
yeah.
But the only thing you need to know is he ain't forgot about you. He ain't never left you nor forsaken you. Because where you are, he has you right where you need to be.
That's good, bro.
See, in Lodabar, things are going to be it's something that's going to come out of there, right? We
Mhm.
all see we all see the stories in sports, right? You see the guys that come from bad neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, used to be shot at, all this kind of stuff, homeless, their family didn't have nothing, all kinds of stories, right? And yet they come out and become NBA stars, NFL stars, some kind of multi-million dollar rich guys. And you got to understand, it's like God put them there as babies. Their parents were there. They didn't ask to be in poverty. They didn't ask to be in situations where their life was in danger. They didn't ask to be in Lodabar.
Yeah.
But God still brought them out and blessed them abundantly. He
Yeah.
can do the same for you. You may be in Lodabar, but Lodabar is not your end. It's just a
Yeah.
destination.
That's
That's
so
it.
good, bro.
Let's go.
That's so good, man. And you so right. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, if you just trust God, it will be your last day in Lodabar. Like you said, I am like on I'm on with you, man. Like from chapter 4 to chapter 9, that was 5 chapters until they talked about Mefield again. And I can
Mhm.
only imagine that Mefield was sitting in Lodabar crippled. He couldn't move. He
Mm-mm.
had to been sitting there like you said, like, man, I was supposed to be Prince. And
Man.
this
Mhm.
trauma that I'm going through, this
Mhm.
broken home, this broken marriage, this broken relationship I have with my kids, it all started because it wasn't even my fault. Because I was molested as a kid, because I was beaten as a kid, because my mom and dad left me as a kid. And now I'm sitting in Lodabar, broken and crippled for so
Mm.
many years, and I don't know what to do. Like
Man.
I can't even move because I'm crippled, because I got dropped, because someone didn't read the fragile on me. Somebody didn't read the handle with care on me, and I was meant for inheritance. I read in the Bible that I was supposed to be gifted and blessed with abundance.
Man.
And here I am in
Man.
Lodabar. God, this don't make sense. In the same way, I don't trust the nurse for dropping me. Right now, God, I'm not trusting you because
Mm.
I'm not supposed to be in this position.
Mm. 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 Mm.
That is
Mm.
a lot of us speaking. And I'm gonna be
Man.
real with you. I'm gonna be so vulnerable. That was me speaking for so long. And you know what's crazy? E? And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I never said it out loud, but I suffered in silence with it.
Mm.
I
That's
never
that
said
part.
it out loud. I
That
never
part.
spoke about it out loud, but in the inside, I was screaming, God, I don't trust you.
Mm. 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 Mm.
I do not 100% trust you, because if I did, you wouldn't have let happen to me what happened to me. I would have never got dropped.
Mm.
So I was in
That's
Lodabar,
so good.
bro. But like you said something, I want to read the verse that you said about our own understanding. It's Proverbs 3:5, bro. Trust in the
Mhm.
Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. That's why God
Nope.
is telling us in this proverb, don't lean on your own understanding, because if you do, you're not going to trust me.
That's right.
Because you're trying to
Hmm.
figure out why you're in Lodabar, and I'm trying to tell you to trust me so that I can get you out of Lodabar.
Man. That's okay.
Bro, like for real.
That's
Like
good. That's
it
good.
is, bro.
That's
But
good.
I'm telling you right now, I'm about to do something, because as I was writing this, God did something to me. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
I need to let y'all know something about this verse that we read, where it says, you know how David is now looking for family of Jonathan so he can bless him, right? Do you
Hmm.
know the reason why David is looking for him? Because in First Samuel, David and Jonathan made a covenant. They made a
Hmm.
covenant. And I'm gonna read the covenant out to you, bro, because it's so important. It's
Hmm.
First Samuel 20:14 through 17. I'm not gonna read word for word, but it literally talks about he said, Jonathan tells David, hey, may you treat me with faithful love as the Lord did as long as I live. But if I die, Jonathan said, but if I die, treat my family with this faithful love. I'm gonna go on. Jonathan made a solemn pact with David, saying, "May the Lord destroy all your enemies." And Jonathan made David reaffirm his vow of friendship again, for Jonathan loved David as he loved himself. And 1 Samuel 20:42, at last Jonathan said to David, "Go in peace, for we have sworn loyalty to each other in the Lord's name. The Lord is the witness of this bond between us and our children forever." Bro, all right, so let's dive into this. The reason a covenant was the reason behind why the king was searching for Mephil, right? David and Jonathan made a covenant, and the king, David, he stuck with that covenant. It was a promise. So let me help you out right now. While you're in Lodabar, let me help you trust God. Because if it's the black and white you need, let me read out the covenant that God made for you. It's Jeremiah 32:40, the everlasting covenant. It reads, "And I will make an everlasting covenant with them. I will never stop doing good for them. I will put a desire in their hearts to worship me, and they will never leave me." Bro, this is so good. Why? Because God made an everlasting covenant with all of us. So while you're sitting in Lodabar, I need you to understand you got to trust in God's word. Even though you're sitting there crippled, broke, can't move, in a place of dryness, God has made a covenant, and God is a God that cannot lie. His promise, he will withhold it. He will pay it in full, bro. So he is coming to get you out of this dry place. He is coming to get you, even though you crippled. He is about to make a way for you to move.
Yes,
He's
sir.
about to make a way, bro. Like, bro, this got me so excited because I was like, wait a minute.
Man.
If the king of David can come get Mephil because of a covenant that him and Jonathan made, you don't think the King of Kings is about to come get you with a covenant that he made between me and you? We're talking about the Lord of the Lords, our Jehovah Jireh, our provider. You don't think the covenant he made, he not about to live up to it? I'm telling you, somebody right now in Lodabar, I'm telling you right now, if you trust God, the search party is on the way. The search party is on the way. They are coming to get you out of Lodabar right this minute. Right after the show go off, somebody's coming to get you out of Lodabar. Let's go, E. Let's go, bro.
Hey, man. I remember, bro, when I was stationed in Reno, Nevada, man, and it was a real low place for me, man, and I ended up getting introduced to this church. And shouts out to Pastor Randall, man. He's here in Atlanta now.
Yeah.
And man, he said something so profound, man, and it always stuck with me. And it's perfect for right now. He said that God puts us in a place that we fit to be fixed. Right?
Ooh, say that again. Gee.
God puts us in a place that we fit to be fixed. Right? And once we are fixed, how did he say it? Once we are fixed, he fits like he places in a place that we fit to be fixed.
Yeah.
And once we're fixed, that place that we fitted, right, was fitted exactly for us. So meaning that if he has you in a Lodabar, right,
yeah,
you're perfect. You're in the greatest place ever. All right. It may not look like it. It may not sound like it. It may not look right. The territory may not be where you want to be at. But you're in the right place. Because there are some things that have to be fixed in Lodabar. We didn't get into the details or know the details of why Mephil was in Lodabar or what was the purpose of being in Lodabar. Just know that Lodabar was purposeful. And while he's in Lodabar, thank you, God. You don't know who's I'm trying to get it out, bro. This is
Yeah, not
crazy.
go.
This is
Go ahead.
crazy,
Go
bro.
ahead.
This is crazy. Now it just hit me now, bro.
Yeah.
You don't know who God placed your name on their mind so they can be like the king to call you out of that loader bar.
Oh, that's good.
You don't know what God is doing or who he's going to use to get you out of that loader bar.
Yeah.
I know you can see it right now. I know it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. You've been done wrong. You've been dropped. People, you were a fragile package and they dropped you. And you just don't know how to recover from that.
Mm.
But all you can do and all you need to do is just trust God. Because the person he's sending to you, your place out of Lodabar, your blessing, your overcoming, your next, everything is already prepared. You don't even know what's prepared. You don't know the things that God stopped while he put you in Lodabar. See, when he put you in Lodabar, there's some things that the enemy was trying to do to trap you that he had to stop. There were
That's
some
good.
things that you were going to be dropped again, and he had to stop it. Because if you got dropped one more time, you'll be broken forever.
Mm.
See, God don't just he don't just care, like he loves us. And
Yeah.
when you love something, you take care of it. See, he's the only person that can fix brokenness. He's the only person that can fix heartbreak. He's
Yeah.
the only person that can fix losses in your life. He's the only God, he's the only person that can restore.
That's so good, bro.
He's the I don't know if y'all getting this, like yeah, your name is already written in the book of life,
Yeah.
not in the book of yesterday, not in the book of what somebody did to you 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's in the book of life, meaning that your life is already written out. When you trust God, listen, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. And I'm
That's so
speaking to me. I'm speaking to me right now.
hey, you speaking to me too.
Like I've been in some low places in my life, man. And I'm talking about to the point of I didn't want to be here on earth no more. And I was in terrible relationships. I had been mistreated. I was broken. My step parents used to beat the dog crap out of me.
Mm.
So therefore I didn't trust nobody with me.
Yeah.
And now how many of us are like that? Your trust is broken. So if I didn't trust anybody, that means I'm like you, bro. I didn't say it out loud, but God, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
But each and every time, each and every aspect of my life, when I was in a loader bar, God brought me out. And it's crazy enough that he always sent somebody to take care of me while I was in loader bar.
Send
No
that stuff,
family
bro.
around, no family around, no complete strangers. Never met these people in my life. Some
Mm.
of my best friends now, but they don't even know I was in loader bar. And God
Ooh.
sent them to help me
Mm.
each and every time, man. Let's go,
Bro.
bro.
Bro, like and man, and you were talking about something that I wanted to get into too.
Man.
Because I wanted to point out something that I didn't catch the first time I've read this story or read this verse before. Mephib is sitting in Lodabar, crippled, right?
Hmm.
Which means
Hmm.
he can't move, he can't go nowhere, he
Hmm.
can't he can't fend for himself.
Hmm.
I want you to stay with me real quick because I think it's the state of him being broken is the reason why he got found. Think about this real quick. If
Hmm.
Mephib would have got dropped and he was able to move a little bit, they would have never knew about his whereabouts because he would have been moving from place to place. See, a lot of times we get in these like these circumstances because we done went through some things and been through some trauma, and we don't sit still.
That's so good, bro. That's so true. So true.
And like I need you to understand, bro. Like sometimes, like you just gotta be still, even in Lodabar, so that the search party can find you. See, we get here, we get trauma, and we go from place to place. We go from relationship to relationship, from one addiction to another addiction. We go from one lie to one lie. And the search party, they can't never find you. They just always on your trail. But if you just sit still in your brokenness, if you just sit still in your Lodabar, the search party can find you and they're going to lift you up and bring you out. It ain't the point that you broken and you can't walk. That ain't the point. They not there to fix the brokenness. They there to get you out of Lodabar. See, oh my God, thank you, God. A lot of times we are looking for people to fix our brokenness. That ain't about to happen. That ain't their job. The search party's job is not to fix your brokenness. The search party job is to get you to the table. You don't believe me? Samuel 9:7. Don't be afraid, David said. I intend to show you kindness to you because of the promise to your father. Jonathan, I will give you all of the property that once belonged to you and your grandfather Saul. You will eat here with me at the king's table. It's not the search party job to fix your brokenness. Their job is to lift you out of Lodabar to get you to the king's table. See, even at the end of this in 2 Samuel 9:13, and Mephil, who was crippled, so he never got fixed. The brokenness was always there. But in both feet lived in Jerusalem and ate regular at the king's table. Why? Because the trust of God, that covenant that was given, that promise that was given between David and Jonathan, it came back. And Mephil, even though he was broken and still broken, got lifted out of Lodabar, out of a low place, and ended up getting everything that was inherited to him. He got everything back. It said the Bible gave him everything, and he was able to eat at the king's table regularly. I gotta ask y'all, who is tired of being in Lodabar? Are you ready to be lifted? Stop running to people to get fixed. Stop running to people to get fixed. That's not their job to fix you. Their job is to get you and lift you out of Lodabar. You said it so perfectly. Perfect strangers that didn't even know you was in Lodabar picked you up and took you out of Lodabar. And all it was to get you to the king's table. I'm here to tell you right now, God is sending out search parties in your life right now. They out there with flashlights looking for you. But if you moving from place to place and you just won't sit still and be what you actually are, thank you, God. Be what you actually are. Be broken. Be crippled. Be what you actually are right there in that moment and let God get you out of there. Why? Because God already know your name. See, the crippleness and the broken is just the state right now. That's not your name. That's just the state of what you're in right now. Your name is still Jamarcus. Your name is still whoever you are, king, queen. Your name is still that. But you just got to sit still in the brokenness and let God send the search party for you, bro, to lift you out of those low places, bro. I've been there. I'm telling you, I've been in my Lodabar. I've been in a crumpy place, an isolated place, a place of straight dryness, bro. Like, oh my gosh, this is good, bro. Like for real.
And I mean, bro, you nailed it, man. Just waiting, like that in itself. If they don't know where to go find you, because God is gonna speak on like, hey, he's here. And if somebody goes there and you're not there, you're missing it.
Mm.
Like, don't be afraid to trust God because you'll miss it. If you
Ooh.
don't, you'll miss it. Do you want to miss your blessing? Do you want to miss your healing? Do you want to miss the restoration that God can do in your life?
Yeah.
But let me back up, man. I don't think people even understand how they miss it. I think let me see if I can bring that to the forefront so you can know what not to do,
Yeah.
right? Having a grudge against somebody that hurt you, you're going to miss it,
Yes. Okay.
right? Trying to retaliate and get revenge, you're going to miss it.
That's good, bro.
Your heart is hardened towards somebody that did something to you, you're going to miss it.
Mm.
Not showing love or grace, you're going to miss it.
Bro, you're speaking facts right now. Mm.
And I know what you're saying is like, Eric, but they did this to me.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
hurt me.
Yeah.
They caused the hurt and my pain. I understand that. I truly do. I've been there. I still deal with it. And I still have to give it to God and lay it at his feet because he's the only one that can fix it in me.
Yeah.
I can't fix it. He allowed it to happen in my life, but that was part of my test in being in Lodabar.
Yeah.
But if I don't give that to him and trust God, why is it we don't trust God with the test that he gave us? Don't you think he know the answers to the test? If he put you in Lodabar as a test, don't you know that he knows the answers to it? Don't you know all he wants you to do is while you're in Lodabar is to call on his name and
Mm.
ask him to help you, and he will. He said, "Ask and keep on asking, asking and shall be given." Like he wants you to. Hey God, look, man, I'm in this place. I don't know what to do. I want my flesh wants to react.
Yeah.
And when you listen to your flesh, you moving from place to place to place, and now he can't find you.
Mm.
And it's crazy that when you said, bro, like just be still, it's crazy that we talking about God don't hear us or can't find us. Well, how you gonna find you? You keep moving every 5 seconds. How
Hey.
can he hear from you if you're moving every 5 seconds?
Yes.
Like that's like writing a letter to your friend, and every time it comes back, return to sender because you don't know the new address.
Mm.
You just sent the letter out, and when you get it back, it's like, well, dang. And then they call you like, oh yeah, we moved again. Well, I had something to give to you, so how am I supposed to get it to you if I don't know where you are?
Yeah. That's so good, bro.
God is the same way. Like we get so wrapped up in Lodabar, and that's just know that is a blessed place. Okay, if you don't know, if you're in a low place, if you're feeling any of the whatever feeling that you're feeling, you're in a blessed place. It's your job to give it to God so that He can take care of that.
Yeah.
He can call you to the table so you can eat like the king. Like when you start following Christ, you got to see that you got a seat in the kingdom. He didn't say you're gonna sit outside and or
Yeah.
you're gonna just stay where you know you got a seat in the kingdom. But you have to trust him with that. You can't like man, you can't keep trusting people. All right. Jumping from place to place, relationship to relationship, jumping from hurt to hurt. Like that's what I did in my life. I jumped from woman to woman, trying to fix what my stepmom did to me. Hot, open, transparent moment. I was jumping from woman to woman. I would jump from thing to thing, and I didn't understand why. But the moment I stopped, and God gave me that dream of my flesh burning, and I stopped, things started to change. Healing started to happen.
Yeah.
My blessings started to come. Every time I was in a loader bar, had nobody around, no family, no friends, no nothing. there was somebody that knew my name. There was somebody that said, hey, let me help him. Hey, he looked like he might, let me invite him to dinner because I don't know if he has food or not. You ever been hungry with nothing? I've been there. And for some reason, every time I was hungry, somebody invited me to dinner.
Mm.
My loader bar was the hunger. My loader bar was I had nothing in my bank account, but I was taken care of because
Yeah.
God put me on somebody else's heart and said, hey, come over here. That's what God does when you trust him.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter your circumstance. It doesn't matter what your loader bar looks like. If you just trust in him
That's
and
good.
just let it, just trust in him. Let it go. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Like you are 100% correct, man. And I'll go back to something you were saying earlier about like just giving him everything. I mean, Psalms 55:22, bro. Give your burdens to the Lord and he will take care of you. Like give him all of that and he will take care of it. But it
All of
starts
it.
with the trust. And like we've been talking about all night with
Yeah,
Mefield, man.
man.
Mefield, his harm, his brokenness wasn't caused by him. He was dropped. He was dropped
Man.
as a child. But even though he
Man.
was dropped, he was still crippled and broken and ended up in a low place. He ended up in Lodabar. But King David sent a search party out to find him because of a promise. And I need you to know that God has made that same covenant with me, with you. He's made it right? By saying that I will never leave nor forsake you. I'm always here. So you need to you need to know that you need to trust that even in your low place, God is sending a search party for you. But just sit
Man.
still, man. Just sit still, bro. Cause man, like you said, man, we've all been in them low places, man. And you know, I just wanna try my best to stop people from moving from place to place when God is trying to search for you, like
hmm
moving from addiction to addiction
hmm
to person, because none of that is going to help your brokenness. None of that's going to help your brokenness. Like, let that search party come find you so they can lift you up and just get you to the king's table so you can eat.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
may still be broken after that, but you're going to eat and you're gonna get your inheritance back on everything that was owed to you, man. That's the best part, man. Just don't be afraid to trust God. Don't be afraid to trust God, man. It oh man, this was good, bro. This was whew.
I I'm gonna give y'all one more scripture,
Let's go,
and
bro.
this just seals it, man. I've read this scripture a lot of times, but
Let's go.
tonight
Let's go.
it just seals it for me, man. Romans 8:28,
Romans 8.
and we know, we all know this. We know that all things work together for the good to them that love God and to them who are called according to His purpose. His purpose is for you to be in Lodabar. Your brokenness, he wanted you broken in Lodabar. But all things, he works. It all works for the good. All of it, not just some of it. All of it. I want y'all to read that scripture and highlight all. Like I want you to remember all, because all of it, your pain, your bad relationships, your brokenness in finances, like your lost relationships. You've never talked to your dad in 15 years. You don't know who your mom is. Your husband cheated on you, your wife cheated on you, your son, mother, it can't agree on anything. Your
Yeah.
baby daddy can't agree on anything. Your people that you work with are talking about you. Like, I don't, all things, all of it works together. All things. because God loves you, man. All okay. Remember this. All. That's all. I ain't got nothing else, bro.
I ain't got nothing else, bro. That's good, bro.
Hey, man. So, man, tonight's episode, man, it's been great.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the word all. Okay, I'm gonna say it again because I don't think the people in the back heard it.
They probably
But
did.
but man, know that God loves you, man. Know that wherever you are, it's purposeful. You're supposed to be there. He's working on you. Give it to him.
Let them cook.
Let him cook, man. Give it to him. He know what he doing. Yeah, it hurts. It's supposed to. It's supposed to. Yeah, it don't look right. It don't supposed to. Because if your story was just like mine, just like Jamarcus, just like the rest of the world, then we wouldn't all have, it would be one testimony for life.
Yeah.
That's it. That ain't how God works. Everybody has a different testimony because everything that you're doing, everything that you're going through, your loader bar is for somebody else. So when you come out of loader bar, tell their testimony because God needs that. Give him the honor and the praise and the glory and thank him in advance before coming out of loader bar. So
Yes, sir.
let's get it, man. You got anything else, bro?
Nah, man, nothing but we love you. Hey, happy Easter. Easter is coming up. I'm gonna say happy Resurrection Day because it is on the way. Hey, I'm gonna be for real with y'all. If you don't go to church, if you be in a church on Resurrection Day, like go there. Just go find a church on Resurrection Day, man. Go learn about why Jesus did what he did and how he went down and got them keys, man. So happy Resurrection Day to everybody. Yeah, this was good, bro.
Hey, man. Go back and watch it, share it, like it, love it. Go back and watch the whole series, man.
You
Remember the
better.
word all things. All right. Hey, man, it's been blessed. It's been blessed. Thank you. We love you. See you on the next one.